because we'll talk about the origin of it, and I don't.
Oh, fuck. What's the origin of Holiday Geek Expo? Well, my wife decided she wanted this to happen, so made it happen.
Once again to Crazy Comics and Stories. It's me, your charming and delightful old Uncle Rat Bastard. And at the other end of this series of tubes and wires we call the internets is Joe Crazy Writer. How you doing today, Joe?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to springtime and falltime. Falltime's coming up. It's going to be great. It's going to be like some 48 hours or something about all comic and good stuff. I'm really looking forward to it. How are you, Cory? How are you, Cory? You're old and you're a father.
Also on this show is our old buddy and our old pal, Jin Wicked. How are you today, Jin?
I'm awake. I'm here. Some days that's all you can ask for.
It sounds pretty much like what I say every day at work.
I'm kind of concerned about Joe, though. He sounds a little off.
No, I don't see any difference with Joe. He sounds perfectly the same to me.
Hold on, I got some comics over here. Hold on. Wait, I got this great thing on Wikipedia. Great, here, hold on. Excuse me, I'm just having that type of day.
Did you turn your fan on and aim it directly at the microphone?
What the hell?
Wait. Something's odd. Joe sounds a little more...
banal.
Intelligent.
I told you he sounded off.
Well, if you're going to be insulting, I'm just going to hang up.
We have had an imposter. Someone is imitating Joe, now that the real Joe has arrived. Imposter, secret guest, please reveal who you are.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I was not pretending to be Joe. I would not put myself down to that level.
How you doing, Wolfie?
I'm doing great.
Wolfie! Have you handled anybody lately?
Don't talk
about
what? Wolfie.
Have you handled anybody lately?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever cried underwater?
Well, there was one time, but that had to do more with choking.
Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers? These are important questions we got to know, but now that Wolfie's here, we're going to get an answer.
Were they made with lard?
It is not wrong for a vegetarian to eat my animal crackers.
All right. What is another word for thesaurus?
Toothless.
All right. I'll write that down. Good. What do they call a building when it's already built?
Erect.
Erect. Excellent. When a cow laughs, does milk come out of its nose?
That's utterly ridiculous.
What comes out of your nose, Wolfie?
Well, I can't say that on this show.
If you throw a cat out a car window, does it become kitty litter?
All right.
I wasn't going to drink, but I'm kind of thinking that I need it now.
I think I need it too. We have Wolfie, which means that Wolfie's handler has been playing the part of Joe Ryder.
Hello, thank you very much.
The early part of this episode.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Why
Please introduce
I've
yourself.
even bothered coming in here.
Oh yeah, Joe. I don't think you needed to come at all. I was doing fine.
Have you ever imagined a world with no hypothetical situations?
I said enough already.
I took many years of philosophy. Yes.
I was up drawing till like 4:30 in the morning, and then I had to be up at 8, so I am deliriously tired.
that could be either good for the show or bad.
I don't know. I'm amazed that I'm still able to sit upright.
I say that pretty much every day. So we have Dan on the show.
I think so. I'm playing everybody else today.
For a kind of a specific reason, because normally we have Dan on before we go to a convention of some kind.
Uh-oh. Did you lose a bet, Strode?
Many. But that's not why we're here.
Is it okay to shoot tourists during tourist season?
I said enough.
Yes, but only one a season. So, Cory, why am I here?
Because you're taking over the show and I'm going home.
Awesome.
Did you guys
All right,
have
Joe.
fun last week without me?
It wasn't the same,
I didn't listen, so.
although I could sing.
Oh, God.
I'm putting on
So,
the top.
anyway,
No.
I'm here
I'm
to...
putting on my
Joe.
tails.
No.
What?
Wait.
Okay,
No,
I'll leave my pants off.
I'm fine with that. You're not in
I'm
my
not,
house.
Yeah, we're not in the same room, so do what you want.
You can lay on your back and podcast if you want.
Not in the room she's got her computer in.
Yeah.
That floor is it's far away.
No, hold on. No, Jin, go ahead and lay down. I'll be over. I'll keep you warm.
What do they use to ship styrofoam?
I said enough already.
Peanuts, Joe, peanuts.
I already ate that whole bag of gummy worms. I need another one.
I'll give you one.
I bet you will.
I've lost all control.
This is what happens every time you have Dan on.
We need more Dan.
So Dan's on for a specific reason.
What?
More than just causing chaos and turmoil.
Why am I here?
Boy,
You're on
he's
because you're one of our friends.
What?
Yeah, I'm not.
boy.
Yeah, see what they think about you, Dan.
Yeah, I can see that.
God, Wolfie, are
Dan-
you going to put up with that shit?
What? Ooh, huh?
Are you
Sorry.
going to put up with that?
Oh, no. Don't worry. I'll get him later.
Hey, Wolfie,
He's going to know what I feel like.
if one synchronized swimmer drowns,
I said stop it!
do the rest have to drown too?
If they want to win. Oh, I'm sorry, I answered that.
If they want you in.
That's okay. Okay, if honesty is the best policy, then is dishonesty the second best policy?
If you guys keep it up, I'm going to go record another podcast somewhere.
Are you reading these off the internet or what?
Well, I always have a list of questions to ask Cory, just in case.
How come you don't ask me questions?
Okay, Jen, if a word is misspelled in the dictionary, how will anyone
God.
ever know?
I don't like that question. Don't you have more interesting questions?
I'll work.
I don't like any of these questions.
Why are we here?
We're here because in just a few days.
Why is abbreviation such a long word?
God.
Is there an abbreviation for the word abbreviation?
Joe?
Yes, ABBV.
Yeah.
Ah, good.
Thanks,
Better
Wolfie.
answer done.
Joe, I need
Thank you,
you.
Wolfie.
Joe, I need you to stop.
Oh, don't ask me to stop. That just drives me
I
far.
didn't ask you to do anything. I said I need you to stop.
Nah,
Joe,
never.
stop.
Jin, say
Wolfie?
need again.
I need
I don't have anything fuzzy on my hand.
stop.
I have something in my hand. I'm just not sure what it is at the moment.
So, Dan,
Yes?
There we go.
What
We got
is
his
going
voice
on?
cracking.
what is going on this weekend that Joe and I will be attending and you are in charge of? He said, trying desperately to get the show on track.
That's not why anybody listens.
Get the show.
You notice I didn't say back on track because we have yet to be on track.
No, I love the fact that he tried to say that I was in charge of it, considering, it's my wife's thing. She'll kill me now.
Well,
Thanks
she's
so
not
much,
on the
Cory.
Where do goat herders live?
So, anyway, I'm just ignoring that. In a few days, we will be having the Holiday Geek Expo at the Doubletree in Bloomington, which is at the corner of 494 and Highway 100. It is basically an expo of people that you would normally find in a dealer's room at conventions. This way, you can come and buy your geek that holiday gift that you must get from him, but there's no convention going on in order for you to buy it elsewhere. So, here's your chance to come down. It happens on December 5th and 6th. Saturday, it's 10 to 6, and Sunday, it's 10 to 5. I'm sorry, I'm not quite as good at this as Joe is, because he probably has it written down, and I'm going off the top of my head. Anyway.
I am disappointed.
I know, I'm sorry.
You have your hat on. That may help.
Actually, it might. But we're gonna have dealers anywhere. We've got some jewelers, we've got some crafters, we've got people who will have science fiction memorabilia like Doctor Who and Star Trek, Star Wars, I'm sure. I believe we have a corset maker this year. We've got, of course, Joe and Cory will be there recording. We'll have some artists and some authors there to sign their books, selling their art. I'll be there, for instance, actually at my own table.
Wow,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. Because I have to be out with the, artists and everything to keep them in line, which obviously I'm so good at doing.
Yes, you've kept this show completely under control the entire time we've been on.
Thank you. I was actually disappointed. I almost got in when you introduced Jin. I had a bottle in my hand and I was going to guzzle it, but she started talking too fast.
So how long has this thing been going on?
This is our 5th year, I believe. Crap, it might be our 6th. 5th at least.
Okay.
It's been, for the first 2 years, we were actually at the Waterbury building in Minneapolis, but we've been at the Doubletree for at least the last 2 years. Oh, actually, that answers my question. No, this is 6, because it's been the last 3 years, so this will be the 4th year at the Doubletree. And the 6th year of the show. It's been getting steadily bigger. We have lots of people that show up. We also we have a snack table. Usually you can buy some snacks and some tables that if you want to come in and game, or just hang out. In fact, at this point, I believe we have some people who are going to play Warhammer Mordheim on Sunday for a while. So if people are interested in that, come on down. If people are interested in Cory, please tell him. He really needs that uplifting experience.
I'm used to nobody wanting me.
I know, but I'm trying to help. Really,
It's a lost cause. It's like trying to bring back Firefly. Give it up.
People
let it go.
Lie to him if you need to. Really lie to him. I mean, this is something that he really, really needs. He needs people to come up and go, Cory, you're such a good person. I don't care if you're lying. We all know you're lying, but he needs to hear it.
Cory, you're such a goody two-shoes.
See? Jin has been pushing this idea that I'm a goody two-shoes. Dan has let people know the truth, that I am, in fact, your Uncle Rat Bastard.
This goody two-shoes motherfucker fronted me the money for a Christmas tree.
Would you, God damn it, quit breaking
And he bought me dinner and candy.
God damn it!
I was about to ask a really stupid question. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought, why did you want a Christmas tree? But then again, I have a Christmas tree and I'm pagan, so,
Someone on this podcast is obsessed with Christmas things.
Sparkles and blinky lights know no religion.
We're going to have a Darth Vader with a Christmas outfit out on our lawn.
I'm not coming to your house.
Why?
'Cause Star Wars.
What's wrong with Star Wars?
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
We're going to have a cage match on the show now.
No, I'm not upset about it. She can hate Star Wars all she wants. She's free to think that. I was just curious why.
I'm not interested in your stupid spaceman movie.
We're also going to have a Santa Claus train and Santa Claus in a hot air balloon and a big bird, which I'm not Big Bird, but a big bird. I'm not sure what that has to do with Christmas, but hey, we got it for that. Christmas kind of throws up on our house.
Oh, God. So do you have any people that you'd like to kind of highlight who are going to be at the Geek Expo? Anybody that we might know? Anybody who people should come and be excited about other than you?
No, everybody should be excited about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Because, that would have been smart to have that list of people with me.
Dan, how long ago did I tell you that we would have you on the show to push your little Geek Expo thingamabob?
About 20 minutes ago.
You don't read your emails, do you?
No, I just lie.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh.
You lie, Jin tells the truth, and all of you make me look like a doofus.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, Cory and Joe will be there. I'll be there. Sketch Gustafson, who does Fallendor, will be there on Sunday. He won't be there Saturday, but he'll be there Sunday. I'm trying to remember the authors.
Bunch of guys who write some books.
Yeah.
And
I know we had...
tweet covers, and there's words.
If you write a book about failure and it doesn't sell, is it called a success?
How long have you been sitting there waiting to say that?
It looks like 24 minutes and 25
pretty
seconds.
much since the last time you said something.
Joe,
I think that's Joe misses Butch. He and Butch get to tell each other
Do
these
you
jokes.
have like a big list of those and you're like, these are for 2015 and I'm running out of time?
Joe, are you putting yourself on mute? That explains how I got through that entire thing without you coming in.
This is what he gets for being late. You shouldn't have given us any time to build up some momentum before you showed up.
Well, I'm going to draw back the curtain a little bit. I swear to God, every time I do the show,
Kayfabe!
Joe's late.
Kayfabe!
No, this is Joe is always late.
If God sneezes, what should you say?
Gesundheit.
Fuck you.
Do Jewish vampires still avoid crosses?
Yeah, the first...
There's an answer to that, Joe, and it's in a comic. Marvel graphic novel, Greenberg the Vampire.
Nerd.
Damn right. Written by J.M. Matthias, drawn by Mark Badger, came out in the 80s. I own a copy.
Wait. No, of course they do. The most famous Jew got put up on one.
He was a vampire?
No, but he was put up on a cross.
I don't know. He came back to life after 3 days.
He is a vampire!
More of a lich.
That priceless smile, I tell you. Okay, yeah, great. I made a joke and that could have killed the entire show. Can we go on?
Well, because Jin won't let me use crickets anymore.
Good job. Nope.
Then Joe used up all the rest of the damn sound effects.
Uh-huh.
Really? You're an atheist, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't believe in atheism.
When you go to court, what do you swear on?
I swear to God, I will kill you if you don't stop doing this. That's what I swear.
Zing!
So, Dan?
The dictionary, huh?
Did you think up any of the authors' names or anything?
What are we talking about?
Yes, Cory Strode will be there.
I don't have any books to sell yet.
You're an author, though.
Well, there is that. I'll shake your hand and give you a sentence.
Yeah, there we go.
And, Joe, are you going to be there both days or just Sunday?
Not sure yet.
Okay. So it'll be a surprise.
Yes.
Is
First, I
Linda-
got to figure out if I'm left or right-eyed.
Why?
Why are you asking him?
Because he's just gonna wait for it anyway.
That's true.
Yes.
I mean,
It's,
seriously, Jen, if you were a worm, how long would you be?
17 inches.
Hey, now.
I didn't know you went that way, Joe.
Furiously scrolling through the internet looking for a picture of her.
And Dan?
Yeah?
When you started this Geek Expo,
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep pulling that. I don't care how hard the snow is falling and the wind is going. I'm going to keep trying to keep this damn thing on the road.
What's a Geek Expo?
It's what I just explained.
Jen, what's your favorite
I couldn't hear you
expletive?
through all my not caring. My what?
What's your favorite expletive?
Fuck that.
That would be it.
Dan,
Yeah.
when you started this Geek Expo,
Yeah.
what was the idea? He said,
Don't you mean his wife?
he'll get to that. I give the setup. He gives the answer.
I give the interruption.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So it all worked out according to plan.
Well, let's not go that far, shall we?
What it was is that my wife looked at our convention schedule and noticed that we didn't have anything later November, early December, and kind of went, well, it would be nice to have something around that time, and then noticed that there weren't any real big conventions or anything going on, and she started thinking, hey, what if people wanted to get their geek gifts, and didn't want to do the normal geek thing and go to the internet?
Or go to a damn store.
Well, no, the thing is, there's stuff at the stores you can't get you can't get at the stores that you can get here, because it's things that normal stores don't tend to carry. Sometimes we'll have people like the Source and things like that in there that you could go to their store. But the thing is, we've got others that don't have physical stores, so you can only get it at conventions. A lot of the people that make their own crafts, like we've got a soap maker, the Grumpy Gnome will be there. We've got chainmail makers are going to be there. You can't really go to a store and buy the handcrafted chainmail armor for one of your stuffed animals, which is one of the things they do. You can't get a chainmail minion hat, which you can get at this place. It's those geeky things that really you're not going to find very often. I mean, there's some things that you can find at stores, but there's still a lot that you won't, because there's no stores that carry it until they become famous, and then it's all over the place, and then we'll be useless. But I hope that won't happen. But then you
bring in new people.
Right, exactly. And every year we do have new people. Usually every year we've got a few people that I know I have not seen in our place before. So.
And you said you're going to have authors who are signing their books and artists. Will it be like a comic convention where the artists will be selling sketches and prints and
yes,
and things like that?
Yes, we will.
And are any of the artists people we would know from the local scene?
Me. And like I said,
I'm the only artist there, so I can charge whatever I want.
Exactly. Like I said, I surely should have brought the list of people. There's going to be a few other artists there as well. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones they are. I know one year, he's not going to be here this year, but we had Chris Jones a couple years, and he couldn't make it this year, but hopefully he'll be back next year. But we get as many artists as we can in. And, Jin just snubbed us, so.
I what?
You snubbed us.
I'm tired. I'm done with conventions for a little while, so I don't really want to see people.
Okay.
It's that Christmas spirit that she brings to the world.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't know. Like, I always get busy around the end of the year. I mean, no offense, but that's like a terrible time to have a convention. Any time after mid-November is a bad time.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Hence the idea to come there and buy Christmas gifts. Bad idea.
Well, I get that, but I mean, especially for people that travel for those kind of things.
My God, there's a big-ass lineup at Walmart already for Friday. Let's go join them.
Is there really?
Nah, they open on Thanksgiving.
What is that?
Joe's given up and he's watching TV.
Where's Butch?
Yeah, Joe, she doesn't want you. Where's Butch?
Funny you should say that, but we'll mention that after you're done talking about people that you don't know that are coming to your con.
Right. Oh,
Go
man,
on.
that feels really stupid. Okay.
Take that feeling.
Now you know how
Go
I
with it.
feel every damn episode.
Yeah, I know. I'm not in charge of this thing. My wife is. I just nod my head and go, okay, dear.
And how much does it cost to get in?
It's free.
Free?
Yes, it is free. You show up, and we would rather you spend your money at the tables.
All right. Joe and I will be there. I will be there both days. Joe will be there at least one day. We're going to be recording. We're going to be talking to the artists, talking to the people who wander by, talking to ourselves. I'm really good at talking to myself, as evidenced by the fact that we had 7 hours of damn podcast last week. So the other topic that I had for us to discuss is Christmas gifts, because you could go to the Geek Expo and get Christmas gifts. So I thought we would talk about sort of what we want for Christmas, what we think comic nerds might want for Christmas, and other things like that. And since Joe is really good with knowing about stuff, Joe, what do you want for Christmas?
Nothing.
Well, thanks for bringing the show to a screeching halt once again.
I mean, here I am. I'm trying to get rid of stuff, and I'm not actually looking forward to getting stuff. Because the thing is if I want something, I probably will just go out and buy it.
So the second question would be, when you were a retailer, was there anything that you wanted as a gift that would have pertained to owning a shop or retail or anything like that?
Real estate. Nobody ever gave me real estate. Don't know why that was. It just happened.
Well, you need richer friends.
That was true. No, again, I mean, I didn't really think in terms that way. I was looking more in terms of like what I would have that I could possibly sell. And we've talked about that before. And Jen, you want to put your hands in your ears and hum a bit. But I mean, the big thing coming up will be definitely Star Wars.
I'm getting a drink.
Yep, it's a good time for you to get a drink because, I mean, it's big time Star Wars. I did know a lot of people because they had the same problem like my wife did. How can she buy me something because she has no clue what I have? I do recall one year, I think my old partner Pat actually, or my mom, take that back, called my comic book partner Pat and asked him, what could I possibly buy Joe? Because she didn't know comic books. She didn't know what they got. So he suggested going out and buying this funky book called Uncanny X-Men 94.
Ooh.
So that was quite a surprise. I do get put on a moratorium that I'm not allowed to buy things for myself. Although I have found that, like, when I suggest things, kind of like last podcast, we talked about that, the Fifth Beatle, the Brian Epson story by Vivek Tiwari. It's kind of like, what do you want for Christmas? Well, that's what I wanted. Didn't get it. So I don't even bother asking for things because 9 times out of 10, I won't get it because it's either sold out in the case of like the Beatle book or she just can't find it. And you got to remember, Dana and Holly, they both know comics. So it's not like, Chris walking into a comic store and being totally overwhelmed. I do have to say there were a couple times that Nick delivered some stuff for me. I got this huge ass Doctor Who scarf based on the Fourth Doctor, because Nick said, hey, Joe would like this. And Chris is like, oh, great, what do I owe you? Well, see me after Christmas. And every time Chris tried to pay him, he blew her off. So that was kind of cool, getting some cool things like that. How about you, Mr. Strode? What do you want? Besides pie, Christina Hendricks, and to avoid blue pea.
I never tell people what I want for Christmas because they never get me what I really want.
Redheads and pie.
The power to decide who lives and dies.
Oh, well, you got to run for the government to get that.
Myself, right now, what I'm looking for Christmas is my parents have both retired. My siblings live all over the place, and my mother just gets so overwhelmed by Christmas, because they're the kids and the grandkids and the this and the that. And a couple of years ago, I made a suggestion that said, instead of going out and just trying desperately to find something, anything, send baked goods. So every year from my parents, I get a nice box of the cookies they made when I was a kid. My grandfather passed away, but he used to make peanut brittle and fudge. And now my middle sister has taken over that. And it's just a big box of stuff that they've made. And that's what I send, and it's what I like. I like it to get stuff like that, never mind the fact that I'm back, losing weight again and all. But just, I would rather you get me something like that than get me a book that I may already have, or a DVD that I may already have, or a gift card, or anything like that. And for people, I've been kind of hinting that I'm making stuff at work. I put out a thing saying, hey, if you want a fruitcake, I am making fruitcakes in a couple of weeks. Traditional, not the ones that are a brick, but the ones from England that if you have two pieces in a row, you'll probably get a little tipsy. And a couple people there have wanted one. But really, that's kind of the what I'm looking for. I worked in social services most of my adult life. And much like working as a doctor or a fireman or a policeman, you really don't get the holidays off, because it's not like we could tell the residents at the group home, hey, why don't you just kind of sit there so we can have a day off? Why don't you just kind of hang out, and there won't be any staff. So just kind of hang out here for a day. You'll be fine. There's cereal, there's milk, you're good. So this year I do not have to work on either Thanksgiving or Christmas. So that's almost a good enough gift for me. Dan?
Yes.
What sort of things are you looking for this holiday season?
I'm looking at...
Would you like a fruitcake?
Good God, no. Actually, here, quickly. Another artist that's going to be there is Scott Gallatin. He's going to be there.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I got a couple things here. List of people while I have it. Kristen Tipping will be there. She makes. I'll find it here. Oh, she's another artist. She does comics. So.
Joe, you're going to need to train Dan.
Yes.
At the Geek Expo on how to do this properly, okay?
What are we doing?
Dan, we were talking Christmas presents, but Dan found the list of who's going to be at the Geek Expo.
I found a bunch of our applications, and I'm opening each one separately because my computer won't let me open it any other way.
Professionalism, ladies
yes!
and gentlemen. Professionalism.
While these things open, what do I want for Christmas? Okay, what am I looking for Christmas? What am I looking forward to? Oh, well, actually, I'm hoping to get possibly the deluxe set of the Marvel Cinema Universe first section. I'm trying to remember what they call it. Phase one. Because it comes in the case that has the Tesseract in it. And it actually has a Tesseract in it.
And you ain't no one unless you got a Tesseract.
Exactly.
Now, Dan, do you have an Infinity Gauntlet?
Not one I can wear.
Oh, okay, because you do know they have them for sale now.
Oh, they finally came out?
Yes.
Okay. I've been looking for one, and I haven't been able to find it. So, yes, I want one of those. I want many of those.
Well, with one, you have complete mastery over the universe. What would you do with two?
Have the mastery over two universes.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to, actually, the one I have to do is I have to make one for Wolfie.
Yeah.
Wolfie.
I want an Infinity Gauntlet, so I have power over everyone. Everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you, Jen?
I'm okay now.
You okay now?
I got a drink.
You got a drink. Okay, good. Jin wants alcohol.
Is it my turn?
Sure, go for it.
No, wait, Cory has to say it.
Jin, what would you like for Christmas?
I would like cash. I would like gift cards, which can be redeemed for groceries.
Do you want U.S. cash, or would you like some of those Euro notes?
U.S. cash.
Okay.
I would like...
Very distinct, because we do have downloads in Germany.
I would like gift cards that could be redeemed for restaurant food, and really any kind of food would be acceptable. Stoli vodka, Sailor Jerry spiced rum, good whiskey, food and alcohol, not sweets.
Do you like a giant-sized man thing?
I'm very satisfied with my current man thing.
Okay, because I just happen to have a giant-sized man thing here, and I could mail it to you if you want. It's from Marvel Comics,
Which issue number?
Number 1.
Ooh, that's with the glob,
Yes,
right?
a glob and a giant-sized man thing. They just go together.
I tell you what, Jin, I'll wrap myself up and you can unwrap me.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't you?
He happy just to put his hand up his ass.
So, Dan, one of the other things that I was thinking about is you're an artist.
I certainly hope so.
You're an artist? When the hell did this happen?
I don't know.
Why'd you tell us these things?
You do artsy types of things.
Oh, one of those.
Yes.
When you think about what an artist would like for Christmas.
Cash.
Food.
Food.
Yeah.
We talked about this the other night at dinner, and I want to just get this right out of the way so I can go back to not paying attention.
Okay.
Unless you know your artist friend extremely well enough to have been to their house and spied on their desk and seen the materials they use, or you're buying something for someone that is a hobbyist that's relatively new, or you're buying something for like a teenager, please don't buy art supplies for artists. I mean, I'm sure it's a gesture that's appreciated, but everybody has their own preferences. And I've given away so many art supplies over the years because well-meaning people bought something that they thought I might use. But, I mean, it's my job, and I have a certain set of tools that I use to do that job. So if you give me the wrong kind of pens, I'm just going to share them with somebody who prefers that kind of pen. So please don't buy art supplies for an artist unless you're close enough to them to actually know the specific brands, the specific types, the varieties of the things that they actually like to use.
Where do you buy your art supplies?
So you can get art supplies. You can, like, gift cards to the chain stores are always okay. Hobby Lobby, Michael's, they carry some art supplies, but not very much. Since I moved to Minneapolis, Dick Blick is amazing.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was going to mention.
So yeah, gift cards to Dick Blick, or you can use them online too. They usually have free shipping coupons. So even before I moved up here, I bought quite a bit from them through the internet.
Now there is something too, if you're not going to heed Jin's advice and just buy something anyways, most places will give what they call a gift receipt. You can include that with the gift. It doesn't tell the person how much you paid, but it does that. Then, Jin could take the well-mentioned gift with the gift receipt to Dick Blick or Hobby Lobby, whatever, and either get a credit. Usually they give you credit, I think now, and then you can use that for whatever you need. Or if you don't mind, give the receipt. That way, if she doesn't need it, she can return it and take the cash and go buy booze. So there are ways around that, although I think Jin's advice is probably the best.
Though I am a poor artist, so I really don't want to waste the gas to go to the store and return the pens I can't use. So if you could just buy me a loaf of bread, that would be great.
What type of vodka do you like?
Stoli.
I gotta write that down.
Any kind of mid-range vodka is good. Don't buy me the expensive shit. It's a waste of money. But I really like Stoli. I'm a fan of the UV flavored vodkas. Smirnoff is alright in a pinch. That's what we usually get drunk on my
I
other
thought you
podcast.
said that's what you clean your brushes with.
I never said that.
I must have been somebody else.
Dan?
Yes.
Is cleaning my brushes a euphemism for getting shit-faced?
It can be now.
That's what I'm going to call it.
I just sit there, make a face, and his arm falls out.
I'm going to go clean my brushes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah.
For you, are there any sort of art gifts that you would appreciate, or art gifts you've given?
I've given a couple, and I've received a few. The ones that I've given, I are to other artists that I know, but I know well enough to know, as Jin was saying, I know what they use. So I replaced things that I knew they were looking to get replaced because they've either run out or they've used it to the point where they really needed a new one.
Falling apart.
Yeah. Personally, if you're going to get art supplies, it's hard to get the wrong paper. But it's still possible because I've been given, I think somebody gave me watercolor paper and I'm a pencil drawer. That doesn't work as well. But the thing is, equipment that, like a light or something, it could always work. A light that will attach to a desk. My wife has gotten me a few things, but she, again, knew exactly what I use.
Hey now.
Yeah. No, that's a different type of art.
Oh.
Joe has decided to make everything dirty on the show.
Oh my.
Okay, Joe, you'd like this story then, because at one point, have you ever heard of the comic Least I Could Do?
No.
I hate that comic.
It's okay. It has its ups and downs. I happen to like the artist, so
Yeah, the artist is a cool guy.
Yeah. But one of the things, what you see is the main character sitting there typing something on his computer, and it pulls back, and he's sitting there having fun with a woman at the same time and getting mad that she's moving so much because he's trying to type. I actually had to tell the artist at one point that does work because I was using a tablet at time with my wife.
That is more information than I ever wanted to know.
Wolfie.
Yeah.
What do you want for Christmas?
Jin.
Wow,
I know.
yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Might I suggest a gift certificate from a friend of mine who's opened up a salon called My Salon Life, because she can do Dan's nails, which might make it a little bit easier on you.
Oh no, the pain is half the fun.
Her address, 8160 Kohler Way in Woodbury, Minnesota. And if you mention that I sent you, I can get like a percentage off to get something for my wife.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, so there's self-interest there.
Couldn't
Oh,
we
yeah,
just-
big time.
Couldn't we just buy Dan a jar of Vaseline?
Or a nail file. Or a glove to put on the glove.
No, I don't want to do that because according to what I've heard, that'll set off the sensors in TSA.
Oh, hell yeah, we hate Vaseline. We got our own industrial strength government Vaseline.
How is it always like the dirtiest thing every time the puppet's on the show?
That's kind of his gift.
It's my thing.
If you did the podcast with your hand up your ass, you'd probably feel that way too.
Yeah.
Joe, you're in a feisty mood tonight.
I am.
However, if you want the real answer, you can go to my favorite outfitter and get me a gift.
Which is?
Build-A-Bear.
I have an Amazon wish list, so.
Ooh.
And how do people find that?
It's linked on my blog.jinwicked.com.
Oh,
There you go.
And I
Talk
usually
about
spam
pictures
it
of
on
Linda Carter.
Facebook after Thanksgiving.
You want a picture of me in a garter?
Thank you to the kind donor who just bought me a vacuum cleaner. My floors are filthy.
Ooh.
The garter's probably bigger than you, Wolfie.
It's more like a hula hoop.
Joe's having a whole conversation by himself.
I'm pretty much used to that. One other question I wanted to ask the people who set up at conventions, is there anything that people could get you that makes a life easier when you go to conventions? I know Dan goes to, how many conventions a year do you go to now?
Bacon and mimosas.
100?
Bacon and mimosas. I think we average about 12 or 13.
Okay.
So, a new car.
No shit. No fucking shit. Do you have any idea how hard it is cramming all my convention shit in the passenger seat of a truck? It sucks.
Couldn't we just get you like a topper or one of those half topper things?
You could. I really want one of those camper things that goes over the bed of the truck. I really do. Since my arcade hauling days are over. And I found a place that sells used ones. I just need about $500.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Jin finally said something that you can afford.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep, she's a big bad mother trucker.
There you go. Thank you, Joe.
And the thing is, I have a van, so, I can put all the stuff in it, but it gets 2 miles to the gallon.
Anything else for conventions that would make conventions easier?
A comfy chair.
Actually, yes. The chairs you get at conventions suck. I mean,
but they're great for whacking people in the head.
Yes, they are, and that's pretty much what it feels like after a while. But a nice chair that actually has some cushion to it would be nice. But it would have to be foldable. That's the thing, is it would have to actually be transportable. So, and those are not as easy to find as one would hope.
I'm going to start taking my Texas chair to conventions.
Your Texas chair?
You know those folding fabric chairs you can buy at the sporting goods store?
Yeah.
Well, we went to see fireworks on the 4th of July, and we were on the way to go, and we're like, hey, we should have gotten chairs. So we went in H-E-B, the local grocery chain, looking to see if they had some, because it's summertime, obviously, and they did. So I have this folding fabric chair that's super comfortable, but it's printed to look like a Texas flag. And since it's from Texas, it is enormous, and you could fit 2 or 3 of me in the chair.
Or one average Texan.
Or one average Texas-sized person, yeah.
Yeah!
I think I've just decided that's my new convention chair. It's even got a cup holder on the arm.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
And if you can find a place to hide a flask in it, you'll be set.
It could hold a pretty big travel mug. So you can just, like the last time you brought the mimosas, we can just dispense with the glass. That's really not necessary.
All right. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing at conventions. I haven't decided what I'm bringing to the Geek Expo, but I'm the one who brings the snacks and drinks.
Yeah.
Goody fucking two shoes.
By the way, Dan,
yeah.
remember the praline bacon?
Yes.
And you enjoyed it.
Yes.
I have an idea. Because I had chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
How about instead of chocolate chips, praline bacon chunks and cookies?
I made those 3 years ago.
I didn't. You didn't tell me.
And they had bourbon in them. They were bourbon praline bacon cookies. I'll find you the recipe.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure what I would think of that. However, when it has bacon in it, I'm usually willing to try it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the birth of a new podcast, Cooking with Cory Strode.
Yes.
Cooking with bacon.
Yeah. In fact, that's how I found out I actually kind of like bacon martinis.
Boys, girls, men, women, if you need extra money and you know just 10 people, you can make money in your spare time, and it costs you nothing to try.
Here's a Thanksgiving one for you. Put a shot of Sailor Jerry in your cranberry sauce.
That sounds like a really bad anime.
No, it's good.
And we're just trampling right over Joe's latest joke because we just don't care.
I'm
Joe
not
said
sure. Actually, what you
He made a
guys
joke?
while you guys are babbling, I'm just busy scanning stuff, and I was just reading the back of Mighty Comics Presents The Web, number 40. And on the back had a nice ad for Wallace Brown where you could send in a coupon and he would send you a bunch of Christmas cards, and if you sold them, you would make money. Just one of the goofy things that you find on the back of comic books.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when they had things about selling seeds to your neighbors.
Yeah. Or grits.
And I asked my mother if I could do it, and she said, absolutely not. I will not have you making me drive you door to door so people could tell you no.
I remember sending in one of those coupons, and I got this big-ass box of seeds, and I was all excited to do it because, I mean, I've been selling crap. I'd sold candy for school, paper subscriptions, wreaths for the Boy Scouts. So I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to you sell X number of boxes and you get yourself a skateboard, or, 2,000 million boxes and you get a bike. Oh, hell no. They box that sumbitch up and send it back right away.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been a seed salesman instead of sitting in my basement podcasting.
Oh, Joe is really feisty tonight.
See, the problem with going door to door selling stuff, however, is that I did the same. I was in the Scouts too, and we did.
Well, you got to take the Wolfie off your hand. That does look kind of odd.
It does.
Sorry, Wolfie. It's just true.
Well, it's like the Boy Scouts. I've got something up my ass.
Anyway.
God. Send all legal threats to Dan Mohr.
I was a Boy Scout. I made it all the way to Eagle, and you know what I had to do? Eat a brownie.
Send all.
Did you say eat or beat?
Well, sometimes it's the same thing.
This is making me uncomfortable.
Send all Dateline investigations to Joe Ryder.
Yeah, actually, I was a Boy Scout too. I didn't quite make Eagle because the Scouts and I had a falling out.
Somehow I can see Dan getting into a fight with the national organization at some
I
point.
can see him get beaten up by a brownie.
Oh,
well, just because he likes it.
yeah, pretty much.
So, since no one has brought it back around to me, I've come up with some gifts you could get the people in your life who may be writers.
Oh,
Writers?
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Silly
I
Cory.
love gifts.
Yeah, silly Cory. We never think about that.
Whatever you give me, I'll put on eBay.
Nobody cares about writers.
Especially
Well, there is that.
postal trucks.
So, Cory, as a writer,
Ooh, I'm a writer. I'm just typing words out on my keyboard.
what would you like for Christmas other than respect?
Cause you ain't
Well, I
getting
know
that.
I've never. These are all books
Fuzzy
that I
bread.
have. Joe, keep it up. And you know what I'm getting you for Christmas? A bowl of mayonnaise with a hair in it that I kept in the back window of my car for a week.
Sausage and mayonnaise soup.
Don't worry, Cory. I'll put a lot of respect in your stocking.
Somebody buy me some food. I'm so hungry.
We need more special sauce. Put the mayonnaise in the sun.
The first book I would recommend to get somebody who either already is a writer and is still learning their craft, because let's be honest, you're always learning your craft.
Oh, books.
I had a songbird after me. I'm Joe Ryder. I'm Joe Ryder. I'm Joe Ryder.
Joe, stop.
It's the book called No Plot,
my
No
wife's
Problem.
telling me the wrong
Nobody
song.
likes books.
Joe Ryder goes a little higher.
I think we need to get Joe a drug test.
What is it with what is with him?
Jen,
tonight?
you got something here about drinking while you're podcasting.
Are you drinking too?
I am drinking, yeah.
All right, Joe. Let's
There! That explains.
toast it through the microphone. Okay, I'm gonna hit the microphone with my glass. Are you ready, Joe?
All right.
One, two,
2, 3.
Ow, my head!
Well, you didn't have to put it in there.
That's what she said.
Whoa.
That's what she says pretty much every time.
Cory, I thought you were
You're
talking
welcome.
about books. What's wrong with you? We keep sidetracking yourself.
These
Just
don't have pictures.
focus.
Actually, a couple of them do. But the first one is a book called No Plot, No Problem, a low-stress, high-velocity guide to writing a novel in 30 days by Chris Batty. Chris Batty's the man who invented and was the godfather of NaNoWriMo. The good thing about this book is that it's pretty much for somebody who's never even attempted a novel before. It's very much about, all right, here's what you need to do to start, and it's full of very practical advice, really good kind of nuts and bolts stuff.
That's what the world needs, another writer.
You said nuts.
I'm going to forge ahead, no longer being a
Nuts.
shit that people are beating the crap out of me verbally. The second book is On Writing by Stephen King. The thing I like about King's book is it's very practical. It has a lot of the practical advice of, you need to write this many words a day in order to get to this. This is how you set up for editing. This is how you start to work your plot. This is what to do when you run into trouble. And he gives lots of examples from his life, but he also talks about the importance of reading books, not just for enjoyment, but to sort of break them down and see how authors do what they do. Another book a lot of people recommend that I personally do not care for, but I'm going to give it anyway because too many people recommend it, is the book Story by Robert McKee. Robert McKee is a guy who does writing seminars for screenwriters. And he is kind of the guru of the current writing plot outline way of doing stuff now. If you've ever picked up the software program Final Draft for screenwriting, everything in Final Draft, when it tells you, all right, you've written this many pages, it's time to do this. You've written this many, it's time to do this. Shouldn't you add this? This scene has gone on too long. It gets into the nuts and bolts of the 3-act structure. The problem with the book is that while it's great for giving structure, too many people treat it like a Bible that is never, ever, 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 ever to be messed with. It's never to be
You're
played.
one ever short.
How is that?
I know.
How is that treating it like the Bible at all?
It's a fundamentalist thing where people go, I've written 7 pages. That's long enough for my first act. I need an inciting incident.
But the Bible is full of contradictions.
Don't tell that to a fundamentalist. They'll burn you at the stake.
Writers are so dramatic.
Steak? We're having steak?
I have popcorn.
Steak.
And then 3 books that I think they're made for comic book writers and artists, but I think they work for all writers. And the first one is Will Eisner's Comics and Sequential Art.
I know that name.
Eisner tells you how to break down scenes visually, but it also tells you how to create drama inside a scene. Really good advice for when to have a scene go long, when to cut it short. Another book that is in the same vein is by Brian Michael Bendis, and it's called Words for Pictures.
Cory, will you get me that Eisner book?
Yes, I can get you that Eisner
Goody
book.
two shoes.
You walked into that one.
I've given up. I have completely given up.
Which Eisner book?
Comics and Sequential Art.
The one that tells me how to do shit.
I'm gonna look. If I have one, I'll just give you the one.
Okay,
I'll get this accumulation of crap out of here somehow.
Words for Pictures is a very recent book by Brian Michael Bendis, who's pretty much the head writer at Marvel. And he talks very much about writing for the artist, but also he's a devotee.
Not me this time.
He's so good at ignoring us.
See, my impersonation was spot on.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
And then the last thing I would recommend is actually the Scott McCloud book, Understanding Comics.
What about the follow-up?
That guy.
The follow-up is more artist-based. While it's still a good book, and I still recommend it, I strongly recommend Understanding Comics, because what McLeod does is he breaks down different story styles.
Nerd.
And as you write, one of the biggest thing is to know structure. You can have the best story in the world, but if the structure's no good, people aren't going to read it. It's kind of like if for building a house, you could have the greatest furniture on the planet, but if you don't have good structure, the house is going to collapse and your furniture will be destroyed. What McLeod does is kind of walk you through different storytelling styles, different ways of telling the story, and especially if you're a comics writer, knowing what the artist is looking for when they're looking at your script. For comic book fans, I think nowadays with everybody getting subscription services and the digital world and all that, for comic fans, I would suggest getting storage, shelving, things like that. You can never go wrong giving a comic fan comic boxes, bags, boards. Comic fans are the only people in the world who, if you give them a very specific kind of cardboard box, they will be so happy.
Like a cat.
It's like being a 7-year-old again. Well, more like a 5-year-old again. It's like, wow, I got boxes. Hooray! Anybody else have any final thoughts on Christmas?
Legos.
What was the big Lego thing that you had that took over your table for like months?
Cash and booze.
It was the big Millennium Falcon set, the one that I think normally goes for like $400 or something.
Falcon?
My room, the Millennium Falcon. It's a Star Wars thing. Don't worry, dear.
Falcon?
It's what you do when you're in the bedroom. You're Falcon.
Yeah.
Is that a Minnesota thing, eh?
Hey, well, Falcon. Yeah, leave me alone.
Yeah, that took over for a week because I didn't put it together straight, like a full.
You were a Falcon for a week? Holy
yes.
Moly. Good golly.
I think it took 36 hours to put together.
That's a lot of Falcon.
Yeah.
No wonder your wife keeps you around.
Yeah, well.
Then again, you and Wolfie, well.
Yeah. Trust me, she gets really disturbed when Wolfie shows up naked in the bed.
Again, way more information than we needed.
I got an email from Butch.
Oh!
Where's Butch?
Butch says, well, I'm out with a cold. It's just hitting me in the last day, and I don't want to get Joe sick. Thank you.
Too late.
Too late, yep. Plus, I feel and probably sound like shit. If you think I said I was out cold, read it again. It goes on, I suppose.
I think from now on we're just going to have
Butch's email.
This week's email from Butch.
Yeah.
I think this might be his geeking and freaking, but it's kind of messed up, so I'll just kind of read through it. On a wrestling note, he says it's a bummer that Seth Rollins will be out of action for a long while. He says he's never read Alias. He tends to get to it sometime. Since getting through Frank Miller's Daredevil trades, he's been reading Thunderbolts, which is very much kind of superhero mashup that he loves. He's reading Jason Aaron's Thor and Axis. He says, I don't know how Cory read the entire Walking Dead series on an overnight shift. I've been wanting...
It was a series of overnight shifts. It wasn't just one.
I like it better that way. I've been wanting to get it started. Again, I tried a couple of years ago, but it's going to take me at least a month. I initially read through about the first 40 issues before I knocked off. It was my favorite book for about 38 of those. Then up to about number 90 in satisfying chunks. I'm compelled to start over and not just pick up where I left off. Although Common Cold time has never been a good comic book reading time. And he closes with another kind of bummer wrestling note. He just said 11 p.m. one winter night, 77-78, the very first time he was watching wrestling. Nick Bockwinkel was champ and managed by Bobby Heenan. Oh, how I hated them.
One last thought with the Christmas presents, Cory, that actually you're talking about the books reminded me of this. I can't remember the full name of this. I don't know if you've heard of them. There's a set of DC Presents how to make comics. One's penciling, one's inking and lettering, one is coloring, one is writing, and one is digital how to do it digitally. The series is really good. I have all 5. The digital one specifically has helped me a great deal when it's coming to terms on how to do some of the webcomic stuff that I do. So that would actually be a great gift for people who are into that. So
I do remember them putting those out, and they were actually you've read them. Are they the internal style guides that DC uses?
No, it's a couple of their regulars. Like for the writing one, it's one of their writers. I can't remember who the authors are off the top of my head. Just giving how they do things. The digital one is one of their big ones who actually does everything digitally. He doesn't do anything with pencil. And it's all really interesting. It's best to read them not thinking you're going to do exactly what they're saying, but you take bits and pieces of it that work really well with what you do. But all in all, they're a pretty good read. So,
if you are looking for another book like that, there is a older book. It comes back into print every so often. It's called How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually adapted from John Buscema's training he used to do. Back in the 70s, they would bring in, not really interns, but they would bring in people who would work in the bullpen under John Romita. And they would do a lot of stuff like redrawing faces, fixing covers, fixing the art, making it look better, making it more publishable. And what they did in 78 was they took all of his notes from those training sessions and turned them into a book. But they also, added in stuff for the real beginner. And if you're looking for a version of that book, because there have been a whole bunch of different versions, the best ones are the early ones, and you could tell because it's by Stan Lee and John Buscema. There's one out now that's just Stan Lee teaches you how to draw comics. It's crap. Don't buy it. I actually flipped through it this weekend, and it's very, very aimed at 9-year-olds.
Well, that makes sense with Stan Lee.
Well, and
you could go find the Marvel tryout book if you can find old copies of that. I mean, mint copies are crazy, but that's actually more applicable than the How to Draw the Marvel Way, because it was actually used in a contest to get people to send in a script or send in art pages, and actually.
And it was actually on the pages. Like for the penciling and the inking and stuff, were actually on the Bristol board that Marvel used at the time, with a lot of information on what equipment they used at Marvel. Joe, who was the winner of the Marvel tryout book? Because it was actually a book and a contest, and you would send in your work, and whoever did the best got hired at Marvel to draw a comic book. Who was the winner?
I want to say Bendis was, but I don't remember.
Mark Bagley.
Ah, the Bagley. Never last.
Who went on to, how long has he been at Marvel? Because he started
since the tryout book.
I think his first job was either 87 or 88. They never did publish the comic, because what it was, and we're going to take, this comic and publish it as an actual comic. And they never did that because it was one of those things that Shooter pushed. And then when Shooter was fired, they went, yeah, we're not doing that. That's stupid.
But we'll keep Bagley.
Yeah. And he's still working. Gets at least one book a month out. You know who else is still working?
These guys.
Our sponsors.
That's right. Solitaire Rose Productions has sponsors. And our first sponsor is the one who's been with us since day one, and that's DreamHost.com. DreamHost.com is the best web host in the whole known universe, bar none. Go to DreamHost.com, enter the code CRAZY, get $20 off your first year. How amazing is that? Our second sponsor is the Dollar Shave Club. I get amazing razors delivered from the Dollar Shave Club just for a few bucks, and I always shave with a fresh blade. Does this make me a genius? Of course it does. Now, if you use the website shave.by/C19 capital DC, those of us here at Solitaire Rose Productions we'll get to wet our beak a little. We get a little piece of that, and that's what ads are all about. Our other sponsor is Gray's. Gray's delivers great healthy snacks to you weekly, bi-weekly, once a month, however you'd like. You can choose the kind of snacks you want. They're all amazing. They're all healthy. They're all good. And your first and fifth boxes are free if you use the code CORYS3R5. We love to hear from you, our fans, our beloved fans. Without you, there's no us, because then we're just talking to ourselves, and Lord knows I spent long enough doing that. You can email us at our brand spanking new email address at solitairerosenetwork@gmail.com. You can call us and leave a message, and we will play your message on the air. And that number is 952-856-0519. We have us a web page that is at Crazy Comics, KRAYZCOMIX.solitairerose.com. Over there you'll see some of our new sponsors and our brand spanking new Amazon store, so go check that out. We are also on the Facebooks. We're all over the place. We want to hear from you. If you would like to advertise on Crazy Comics and Stories or any of the other Solitaire Rose podcasts, go ahead, email us at solitaireroseproduction@gmail.com. Subject, advertising. If you have a comic you would like us to review, it's the same Gmail account. Just instead of advertising, put review. Or if you'd like to be a guest on Solitaire Rose Radio or Solo Joe, go ahead and email us at that same address with the subject line guest. These here podcasts come to you free because of our sponsors, so please go visit them. Crazy Comics and Stories comes to you free every week. Every Monday, we've got a new episode, and usually we have it up by Sunday night. It's also available on the YouTubes. It's available on the Pocket Cast, on the Stitcher, on the iTunes. It's all over the place. So go ahead, subscribe, tell your friends, tell every human being you know about Crazy Comics and Stories. Solitaire Rose Radio is a little more infrequent. It comes out about every 2 weeks. And Solitaire Rose Novelcast comes out every other Thursday. So get ready. The Solitaire Rose Podcast Network is growing. Join us. Be on board. Become a fan. Become a listener. Thank you.
I came back just in time.
So, Joe, now that we've had our sponsors.
That was a beautiful segue.
You're welcome.
It was awesome. That was one for the ages. Just like MSP Comic-Con 2016 is coming. May 14th and 15th. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday at the Minnesota State Fair Grandstand. Over 100,000 square feet of comics, over 250 creators, national and local. Don't miss out. Consider this your bat signal. Advance tickets on sale January 1st. And, of course, go to www.mcbacomiccons.com. Dan, I can't be teaching you this shit. You got to learn how to do it on your own.
Sorry.
Now
well,
it's
Joe.
time to ask the Strode.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, go, go, go.
That sounds so awful.
It does.
Ask
Cory,
the Strode. Ask him.
what was the first Barbie comic book?
Ask him a better question. That would be Barbie number 1.
No. I know that Marvel did 2 Barbie series in the late 80s, early 90s that sold when I worked at Schindler's, it actually sold as well as the X-Men. And when we had Marvel's sales representative, he told us that the Schindler's chain was responsible for half of the sales of the Barbie comic in the direct market. You know, it sold really well on newsstands and in toy stores, but in the direct market, I ain't gonna get no damn Barbie comic. My fans want more Spider-Man. But we would stack up. I mean, we would sell at the Eden Prairie store, we would sell between 75 and 100 issues of Barbie and Barbie fashion every month. But was there one in the 50s?
Yes. Through our good buddies Dell, they did a Barbie and Ken comic from 1962 to 63. Only 5 issues came out. It had Vince, your favorite person, Vince Coletta was on it. Near mint copies run around 200. I mention it because I sold a good copy of number 5. I think I bought it for Dana as a gift years ago, and she's like, Pastor Barbie face, so she gave it back to me, and I just put it up on eBay. Okay, Strode,
No, I know why she didn't want it.
I'll give you half credit on that one because you realized there was one, you just didn't know what it was.
By the way, Joe, do you know why Dana didn't want it?
It actually had a photo cover of the old Barbies from back then.
The reason she didn't want it? Because Vince fucking Coletta drew the damn
That's
thing.
why
She
I
didn't
didn't
want
give
it
it to you.
infecting and tainting
If
her
I'd have
other
given
comics.
it to you, you could have turned it into a poor copy of Barbie and Ken number 5.
Oh, no. I would never do that. I'd burn it and then salt the earth where I burned it so that nothing may grow again.
Okay, question number 2.
Ask him.
Cory, you know the creators of Lone Wolf and Cub?
Yes.
And can you actually pronounce their names? Because I butchered.
I cannot.
Well, let's just call them Kazu Koke and Kazuko Kamimura. They did a book called Lady Snowblood from Dark Horse. Are you aware of it?
Yes, I have it. I've read it. It's wonderful.
I actually had issues 1 and 3 up on eBay, sold number 1, and today I just found issues 2 and 4. So at one time I had the whole set. And mere hours ago I ended up selling number 2. But it's a story of pure vengeance. Lady Snowblood tells the tale of a daughter born of a singular purpose, to avenge the death of her family. If you like death, rape, and such period sexual perversions as rickshaw sex, I can't even say that. The fetishizing of women's underwear and girl-on-girl sex shows, this is the series for you.
What?
Yes.
Beautifully drafted.
Manga.
Full of bloody, sexy manga action. This Lady Snowblood lives up to its title and reputation.
Is it 10 tentacles?
All right, and the last question.
There are no
I'll be
tentacles,
back in
but
a few minutes.
I would like to highly recommend other books by those creators. First is Samurai Executioner, which was a spin-off of Lone Wolf and Cub. Dark Horse did reprint that entire series. And then they did a series that is not in print currently, but is one of my favorite manga series ever, and that's Crying Freeman.
Which I actually have on my eBay site if you want to go and get it.
Crying Freeman is a modern story about a Yakuza executioner who has been through kind of mind control stuff, so he doesn't want to kill people, but he is programmed to do so. So as he does it, he cries because he doesn't want to be killing them. It's just an excellent, excellent crime novel that I remember when it came out. I haven't read it since it came out, and it came out when it was the manga was being put out as regular issues instead of the thicker books. It was one of those where I could not wait to stack up a bunch of them to read as a group. I had to read it as it came out. It was very, very good. But if you have not ever read Lone Wolf and Cub, it may well be the best manga I've ever read. And because Dark Knight 3 came out last Wednesday, Frank Miller was so heavily influenced by it that if you go to his book Ronin, that art style is Miller's version of the art style from Lone Wolf and Cub. Beautiful, beautiful book. Dark Horse is putting them out again in thicker volumes. I could not recommend Lone Wolf and Cub higher.
What was the name of the other one?
Samurai Executioner, Crying Freeman, and the one Joe talked about was Lady Snowblood.
The Crying Freeman. Is
Yeah.
that a Dune book?
No.
Oh.
The last question for the Strode. And again, this
Okay.
all deals with books that I actually sold off eBay because I've actually been selling a lot. It's just a lot of the books we've sold are things we've talked about in the past. I've sold a lot of Vampirilla. We've sold a lot more Dell. Some of the Golden Age books that we were talking about, the religious books from previous podcasts. So you have a reason to go back and download them and listen to them. Cory.
Don't laugh at that!
What was the series that was continued from DC Comics' Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love?
Sinister House of Secret Love.
Close. Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion.
I need to look up then, because where did Sinister House of Secret Love come from?
I will look at that up in a second here. Oh, actually, you could look it up while I'm telling people about the Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion. It was actually, as I mentioned, a series around 72 to 74 from DC. Started out as Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love, and then for some reason at issue 5 changed its name to the Dark Mansion of the Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion. And it was a typical DC horror, ghouls, ghosts, reincarnations, they haunt the Dark Mansion. And the stories take place in different locations and times. It always starts in the Dark Mansion. Very Twilight Zone type stories, absolutely gorgeous covers, just some of the coolest stuff. I sold an issue number 7, which was interesting because it had Howard Chaykin art in it. So that's not why I sold it, but I mean, that was one of the things. I found that I actually had quite a few. I just bought these on the strength of the covers. So, and that pretty much sums up this Ask the Strode. Again, if you find something you're interested on eBay, the handle is crazy, Krayz. And if you do buy anything, let me know either through my Gmail address, which is, well, actually, Cory, you done tell me we got us a new address for this here show.
Yes, and it was in the ad, but we have a new email address for this here podcast, and that is solitairerosenetwork@gmail.com. And Joe, Jin, and I all have access to it. As for the Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion, the reason I had it mixed up with Secrets of the Sinister House and Sinister House of Secret Love is they were companion books. One would come out one month, one would come out the other month, and they were both trying to kind of grab the gothic romance market that the TV show Dark Shadows had tapped into. The interesting thing about Secrets of the Sinister House of Secret Love, Sinister House of Secret Love's first 4 issues were oversized, and they were each one was just a single story. Most of the DC anthology books at the time were, 6, 7, and 8 page stories. But they wanted with Sinister House of Secret Love to kind of tell a gothic romance novel in a comic. And the first 4 issues did not do well at all. So they quickly changed the title to Secrets of the Sinister House, got rid of the gothic romance idea, and went back to the anthology. But recently, DC reprinted all of the Secrets of the Sinister House in a showcase volume. And while I'm not a fan of gothic romance novels...
Oh, sure you are. I speak behind your big box collection there.
Those first 4 issues had some beautiful art, because that was when DC was having the Filipino artists do a lot of their horror anthologies. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful, unbelievably detailed art. And I know that the showcase volume went out of print very quickly. But it's one of those, if you can find it for cover price or less, pick that baby up just to look at the art. And especially because that Filipino art from the 70s looks so much better in black and white, because the color just kind of obscured the very fine inking that they would do. It's one of the few books that I just kind of looked through and then went back and read, and the stories are kind of mediocre, and I could see why it didn't sell well enough. But really, really some good art. And now that Joe's done with his eBay, you know what that means, kids.
No.
Freaking and geeking. Joe, what are you freaking on?
I gotta work Thanksgiving. Jen, what are you freaking on?
I think she's left the building for a while.
Okay. Wolfie, what are you freaking on?
Yeah, Jen's left.
Now, Wolfie, throw it to Dan.
Okay, Dan, what are you freaking on?
In fact, my hand's getting a little moist.
You know, they have talcum powder for that.
They do?
Yeah, have you ever tried that to get that up a wolf's ass? It's really hard.
I would never do anything that put my hand up a wolf's ass.
And that's why you are alone.
I'm okay with that. I am okay with that.
I don't know. You've told me about your ex.
Which one? Dan is one of the few people who, while I was dating someone, pulled me aside and said, "You know she's batshit crazy, right?" And that's when I shared her diagnosis with Dan. Not only do I know it, I know her diagnosis.
And I was not surprised.
Oh, neither was I.
Did she tolerate your comics or just...
Believe it or not, kids, this episode went on much longer. As you heard from listening, Jin kind of wandered off drunk and passed out somewhere. We continued the discussion. We're only in the middle of freaking. So guess what? We're going to have 2 episodes this week. That's right, 2 episodes. You're going to get double the pleasure, double the fun, and there's going to be an episode of us at FallCon, the last one, where I'm gathering up all the last of the interviews. And remember, on Thursday, Solitaire Rose Novelcast. We've got you covered. Your Christmas is going to be filled with podcasts. I'm doing 4 podcasts this week. I think I've lost my mind. And as we say every week, kids, the comic we like the least, we still like better than the comic that you like the most. And now, because they're all gone and I'm recording this by myself, I get to hit my music.